Hi, this is Jan again, a student, a novice in Unit EAL 310, and I'm going to take you through a couple of things I've done that have helped me develop my sandpit. My sandpit is yet unfinished, and it's not to the gold standard by any stretch of the imagination. My agenda today is only to give you a hand getting stuck into 82 if you're feeling like the mountain is just too hard to climb at this late stage. Now, previously, we've learned how to, one, prepare for Milo sandpit development, and two, structure the Milo sandpit. So now we're ready to have a play in one of the week's example pages. The example pages are Milo templates already set up for busy educators to populate with the help of Milo Mate. You see this icon up here. You need this, you've got to download it, and it's an extension to Chrome, and without it, anything I'm about to say will not bear fruit. In my case, I've used a week's example page, in other words, a web page provided to encapsulate the whole of 1 week's learning. If you, like me, have outlined a 12-week course in your storyboard at 81, then use the 13th week that is provided in this sandpit shell that you're given as your playground before even touching the other real weeks that you are going to need. That's my bit of advice. This said, remember you only need to develop 4 to 6 hours of online learning for your assessment 2 task. Why not leave the 12 weeks? Much of these weeks will not be developed. Drag them into your module structure, now I discussed that in video 2, and concentrate on just 1 or more weeks to show your 4 to 6 hours worth of training. Personally, I've chosen to do this, leaving the 12 weeks there in the sandpit, structuring them into modules, and developing only a couple of the weeks to achieve my 4 to 6 hours quota. I've done this to ensure I have followed the Salmon 2000 5-stage model, a credible model which has the learners at its centre of the learning experience. I then developed the activities in accord with the Bonk and Zhang 2008 R2D2 model. It's an approach which caters to all different learning styles and fosters an enduring level of engagement with the learners. From my observations, the sandpit shell templates provided appear to incorporate these theoretical principles and practices. To me, it makes sense to follow the pattern and not reinvent the wheel. So this is the start of my unit homepage. We scroll down. I've followed the template and added my hyperlinks here for readings. There's not a lot to be said about the unit homepage other than to say you can change the banner. Here's your instructions here. The unit information, expand this widget. I tried to remove the widget following these instructions. It didn't work. I'm not the only one who had that problem, although some very smart students did do it. So I'm just going to collapse the widget and ignore it. I don't think it'll affect the 82 mark. The announcements, I've only got the one. In a real world situation, you'd have one anytime you want, weekly or whatever. But one will do the job. I'm pretty sure about that. And you must have if you use a welcome wall from Padlet, this pink dot with the cross. Otherwise, it's not dynamic and interactive. And you might not have embedded the code. You might have just inserted a link. So I'll show you that in a minute when we start editing. So we're going to edit. Well, what we're going to do is go down here to the Getting Started page, which I have not done yet. This was already in the shell. I didn't add it. And it'll take me to the Introduction module. So there's the Introduction module in the Contents panel. And this is what I've got in Introduction. I made a video here to explain in summary what's in the unit outline and structure. The Getting Started, like I say, is not done. I'm about to do this later today, but this is what the template looks like. Up here you've got the Milo Mate widget. Here you've got the edit to do with Milo. Here are your forward and backward arrows to relevant pages in the module, that relevant module. Up here you've got a student view. Click on that and you'll see what your student sees before you submit your sandpit. So you can make edits. So this is a placeholder. It's not actually going to let you insert a video there. So we could edit the title if you like. You can edit this web page. And there's lots of things that I have done already as a novice with the help of a fellow student called Josh, and with Laura, and with going to YouTube's and different Milo support pages. The types of things you can do in a sandpit that I've done as a novice, and probably a bit of a dummy with this sort of thing, if I'm honest. I've attached documents, I've inserted images, I've inserted videos, I've inserted icons, I've inserted a call out panel, which I'll show you in a minute. I've inserted a H5P test. You can insert YouTube this way, enter an embed code. Here's the H5P, and it's all very interactive. And fellow student Josh, on the 22nd of September, between weeks 9 and 10, on our announcements page in EAL 310 unit, has a video showing you how to use that. So I've also uploaded items or embedded codes. Some of the external source embeds involve YouTube, Kahoot for a quiz, Screencast-O-Matic, which I did upload to YouTube so I could have my library in my channel at YouTube ongoing, because I do want to use these for some time into the future. I've also deleted a template item. You know, it might be this placeholder, which you can just go like that, highlight it and press delete. I've also had some challenging items to delete, and I've used the HTML edit function. I'll show you that in a minute. I've also moved things up ahead of other items, or moved them down to reorder them. So that can be done. And I've renamed titles. It's easy once you're in edit. Made videos, which you can go up here to insert stuff and follow the template. It might say, please include a brief video to introduce your subject. You go add video note, and you'll see a little video comes up, screen comes up, new recording, use your webcam if you can, and away she goes. So that's not difficult to do, and it is effective. I've also created a glossary of terms that's related to content. And I've used the quizzes function inside assessments. And I've made a quiz which was intuitive and easy, very easy to do. Here's mine here. So you can easily do that. And I've also made a rubric for my quiz. Maybe that's in assessments too, you'd think it would be. Yes, it is. And I'll show you something here where you can generate a rubric. It's very intuitive. And there you go, look at that. It's fun to do. All right, speaking of assessments, you know you've got the two areas for assessment, can be confusing. Perhaps some people delete it to stop the confusion. Um, so I think I've just called mine assessment extension. So if anyone wants to do that, they can have the forms and things in there, just so it's not doubling up. I found that Canva.com a great place to develop digital learning resources, so that my learners can get a free account, and it's unlimited, so they can make storyboards, and they can actually make any document there. And I've got a couple, I think, in this page. No, I'll come back to that. And they can share links with their peers as well. And some people use Lucidchart, which is really good for storyboards in their courses. I went to Canva this time because of the unlimited factor. I created a feedback form for my peers to use for evaluating my sandpit in Google Forms. It was a pleasure to use and share. All of these things are not difficult to do once you have done them once. This video's purpose is to give you some pointers to start playing in one pit and growing your confidence to develop your learning design. Remember, I'm an utter novice, and some of what I'm saying might not be entirely on the money, but I can promise that this little bit of dangerous knowledge I possess has helped me to get over the learning hurdle and get cracking on my assessment 2 requirements. As I said, my sandpit is not finished. I'm still working on it, but according to our 310 unit outline and structure, I still have a few days before it is due to be shared with my nominated peers to review and provide feedback on. There is still so much to learn about developing a Milo sandpit, but we only have to prove 4 to 6 hours worth of effective e-learning. So a couple of the things I'll take you through in your sandpit shell. We'll go back to the home page. And I'll just remind you that this is following the Gilly Salmon 5-stage model, and a lot of what's already in the Milo templates seems to follow that model. You'll see some of these things down the side here as well. They will take you there to quizzes like I showed you before as well. All of these different components have their own drop-down arrow where you can edit, delete, and so on. You might want to delete your welcome wall. That's not an easy thing to do sometimes if you make a mistake with it. So we're going to look at the HTML edit function, and I've put something here in week 13, our play pen, if you like, or play pit. Excuse me for fuddling and muddling around. This is what novices tend to do as they learn through trial and error, but this is the week where we have an empty template, and in preparation I put in here a word. It will delete easily even when you're not in edit web page. You can highlight over it. I am in edit web page and I haven't deleted it because I'm not going to. I'm going to pretend that it's very difficult to delete and take you down here where you'll find these this HTML source editor for anything that is very difficult to delete. And what will come up is the code. So I had the word photo in red. You might have a whole, the Padlet welcome wall, it didn't work. Somehow it didn't work and you couldn't get that pink dot. So you'll go Control F and you'll type in whatever it is, be it welcome wall or whatever, and try and find what needs to be deleted.